Hi, and welcome to Craft Along with Jay. I am so happy you could join me today. Today, I'm participating in the first of the month collaboration, and the theme is Spring Flowers. The hosts are Brenda with Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista from Krista's Crafty Life. And don't forget when you're done with this video, check out the playlist down in my description box. You're in for a treat. Now, for the first project, we are going to need one of these hangers from the Dollar Tree. It has like 3 planks on it, some flowers of choice. The first thing I do, I'm taking the tops off the flowers. I really just need the very top part of them, and I'm cutting it down as far as I can without cutting the flower, of course. Add a little hot glue, and then putting it down on the top wood plank. And I keep doing that until I get around in a circle. So essentially, it's going to look like a little wreath. And I'm just using the white flowers for this one. Yeah, keep going around, and then once I made that little wreath, I'm going to take some of the leaves, the greenery, and kind of put in between wherever I see fit. I want to welcome you all to my channel, and if you're new, I hope you like what you see, that you'll hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. But I'm happy that you're just watching my video. Yeah, I'm kind of figuring out which one of the greeneries I want to use. Um, so far, I'm figuring they're a little too big, so I'm going for some of the smaller ones. And then I kind of just add a little hot glue to them and kind of stuff them in there between the flowers. There we go. Made it all the way around. Just kind of adding them where I think they would look nice. And so far, I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? Let me know. And when I'm done with this top one, I'll move to the middle one, and I'll be using the pink flowers. Oh, nope. I'm going to the bottom and I'm using the yellow flowers. I guess I wanted to do the middle one last. But here, I pretty much do the same thing. It's supposed to be a circle, but it looks more like a square rectangular. Got a little off on my shape there, but it still ended up looking really nice. I'm still happy with it. And on this one, I will not be adding any leaves at all. I want it to look a little bit different than the top one, except for the colors. There, we got that one done. And then okay. So I still have a little bit to do in that last one. I guess I'll come later. Now I'm going on to the pink flowers. And I kind of wanted to them kind of bunched up there in the middle, look a little bit different than the other two. And I just, when I figure out where I want to lay them, I add a little hot glue and just kind of press down. Keep them in place. Like that. And then I got this pink gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Oh, it's plain pink. I am like way off of my projects. It's plain pink ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I just make a regular shoelace bow and I glue it to the bottom. just to kind of cover up where they're meeting. And then I'll trim it up. I think I'll cut them at an angle, and then I'll add a little pink button to the middle of the bow just to give it a little extra embellishment. And there we go. Luckily, it was right on top. I didn't have to dig far. And there we go. And then I got these rub-on transfers from Amazon, and I kind of went through them, and I decided on the yellow ones. So I'll add one that's kind of a side angle. It looks like it's sitting on one of the flowers. And then I also add a smaller one next to it that's flying. And all you do is tape it down and then rub on it till it releases, and then you pull the top layer off. And then I added a little flying one next to it. And that's really it for this one. Turned out super cute, I think. What do you think? Let me know. Very colorful. And for project number 2, we'll need some Jenga blocks. So I have 6 sets of 5, and I'll glue them to each other with some wood glue, just the way they're laid out. So 6 sets of 5, and I put them side by side and glue them together. And I use my little L-shaped ruler down there just to make sure that it's straight and even. And I push them together, and if there's any glue coming out, I'll just kind of wipe it off with my finger. I'll just show you the first set here so you can see what I mean with the first 5, just in case my instructions are a little wacky. But here you'll see what I'm doing. I just kind of dab the glue across, trying to get enough but not too much. And I push it together and then wipe off the glue that seeps out. Then I'll put it to the side and I do the other 5 sets. And then I'm taking 4 Jenga blocks side by side, and then I'll put 2 in the other angle on the sides and then 1 in the middle at the bottom. And then I'll glue those on top, just like the way you saw them sitting there. 4. 4 to start with. And they're laying down flat. And then the 3 that you're going to be using next will be at an angle, like upward, if that makes sense. And I'll put 1 on each side, and then 1 in the middle. And I switched that one out. It was a little bit bigger than the other ones and didn't really fit well. Sometimes with the Jenga blocks, they're different sizes. They're not exactly evenly cut. So you just kind of have to play around with it till you find a good fit. And then I decided to add another 3 blocks on top. So 2 on the sides and 1 at the bottom. Yep, just like that. And then I make 3 sets of those. And then once it's all dry, I put some glue at each end of the ones that has 5 in them, the 6 sets of 5, and glue them together so it's the long way, if that makes sense. It's probably just easier to watch it than me trying to explain. But anyway, there we go. And then I take my little crates that I made and I glue them on for every second set of blocks on the 5s, if that makes sense. And I glue them on there, and then I let it sit overnight to completely dry. before I continue on. This is the next day, and this is what it looks like. But you see there's some holes or cracks in between because they don't fit exactly. So I'm going to use some wood filler and just with my finger, just kind of press some in between, so that way you won't really notice those little cracks in between the Jenga blocks. And once you fill all that out, you got to let it sit and dry as well. Before then, you'll have to sand it off, the excess off, to have a smooth surface to paint on. There we go. And then I'll take my little sander and just sand off the excess, make it smooth. And I do that everywhere where I've used wood filler. And then I take my antique wax and I go over the whole thing. I just use a paper towel because that way I'm wiping it off right away. So it's dark but not too dark. And I use a brush to get into the crate on the sides and the bottom on the inside. And I guess on the outside in the crates. And then I use the paper towel to wipe it off. There we go. And once that's all dry, I'll take some um, floral foam and some flower picks of choice, and I'll cut pieces in to fit into the little crates right there. Just kind of figure out the right size, and then just stuff it right in there. Yep. And it was such a nice fit that I didn't even need to glue them into place. It fit perfectly. And then I just cut the little flowers down to size and put them in there. I'm not quite sure about the flowers. I know some of them are called wildflowers from the Dollar Tree. And then I have some of the baby's breath, the white ones on the side. And I'll mix those in at the bottom with the pink and yellow flowers. I'm pretty sure they're wildflowers. And then I add the pink ones in the middle, and I just fill it all out to the point that you won't be able to see the floral foam at all. And then on the top, these flowers that I'm using at the top are from Temu. And there we go. Looks very nice, I think. And then I just added a jute twine on the back as a hanger. For project number 3, you need some of these dahlias from the Dollar Tree, some nautical rope, um, this metal flower hanging thing from the Dollar Tree, and there's one of these round decor pieces from the Dollar Tree. And that was actually from the Easter section. And I took the paper off in the front, and all the Gouda was on there. So that way both sides were neat and clean to work with. And I used this Kelly green paint that I got from Walmart, and I painted the one side of my wood round. I do give it 2 coats, let it dry in between, but give it 2 coats for good coverage. And this green actually went really well with the green on the metal um, spring flower round thing from the Dollar Tree. And once the glue is, the glue, the paint is dry, I take the nautical rope and I hot glue it all the way around my wood round that I painted green. And don't forget, if you're new, to hit that subscribe button. And if you like what you see, please also hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. There we go, just all the way around. Gives it a nice finished look on the sides. I'm just working on getting it connected at the bottom. And then we put in that metal wood round thing. And I do use some Gorilla Glue hot glue to glue that into place because that works great with metal. And I just traced around it so I know where to put the glue, and I put the glue on the inside of the outline, so that way when I put that round metal thing down, it sticks right to the edge, just like that. I just kind of push it down, and then I pick it up to test it to make sure it's stuck, and it is. And that's what it looks like. And then I took some white or ivory colored twine, and I put that around the edge of the round metal thing. I don't even know what it's called. I just know it's very pretty. And then I take my dahlias and I cut them close up to the flower part, and then I put some hot glue on it, glue them down in between the round metal thing and the nautical rope. Felt like those flowers matched really well with that metal flower that was sitting right there. And I ended up putting on five, one in the middle and the bottom, and then two on each side of that. Just fun, even look. You see, I cut it pretty close up to the top, and then hot glue. Just like that. Looks very nice. And then we'll make a bow to go on the top. So I just cut out two strings. I don't even know how big I cut them. I just kind of cut. I folded it over and kind of decided on the size. And I glue them together, fold it over on top of the other edge and glue it and fold it down. And then I do another one that's a little bit smaller. And then I take another piece of ribbon. For the tail, I just kind of scrunch it up in the middle and put the tails down. And then I scrunch it all up together and use a um, what they call the twisty thingies, and tighten it up real tight. And then I fluff up the bow and kind of see how that would look. And then I cut down the tails and ducktail them. And then I take another small piece of the ribbon and fold it over on each side. And I'll glue that to the middle of the bow to cover up the zip tie. Zip tie, that's the word. And then I'll glue that to the top right there. And on this one, I'll glue some jute twine on the back as well, so it can hang. But that's what it's looking like. Very spring-like. All right, for project number 4, I'll use one of those floral foam wreaths from the Dollar Tree, and then I have different colored dahlias, and that's between the Dollar Tree and Walmart. And I cut them down. I leave a little bit of the stem there to press into the floral foam, and then I use hot glue, and then I just press it in there. And I have 3 different ones that I'm going in a pattern around. So I start at the top. So I did that purple and white one, and then I do this light, looks like a little pinkish, yellowish, peachy kind of thing. And then I do the coral colored one. And then I repeat that pattern all the way around. You don't necessarily need to use some glue to hold it down because you can press it down enough that it will stay. I just want to make sure it wasn't going anywhere, so it's just for extra security, I just added the glue. Just made me feel better. Kind of fluffed them out a little bit. And then I'm repeating the same pattern. So I just need this one and one more, then we're done with the top. And then from then on, we'll start on, I believe, I go on the outside of the wreath because you can still see some of that green foil foam. So we're going to cover that up. But that's what it looks like so far. So we're going to cut some more dahlia tops off from the stems. Well, I guess I got to show you all this just in case you don't know how to cut them. Oh boy. Well, here we go. We got some cut, and now I'm gluing out to the side of my wreath. Just like that. And as you can see, I kind of started on the inside too. Just put like two in, but after we've done the outside, we'll start going around on the inside of the wreath. So that way it's covered completely except for the back side. But nobody will see the back side, so that's okay. But it's filling out really nicely. Nice and fluffy, very, very colorful. It's actually very cheerful to look at. I just love spring. It's just such a happy time. There we go. We got the outside done. And the green you can see is not the wreath itself. Those are the leaves from the flowers. Now we're gonna work on the inside and cover that up. I think this one is my favorite of the four projects. I like them all, but I think this is my favorite. Let me know down in the comments which one you is your favorite, which one you like the best. And I'm still going with a pattern, both on the inside and the outside. There we go. Nice and full. It looks really pretty. I like it. All right, so here we get to the finished view of all of them. Here's the first one hanging. Not the greatest shape at the bottom, but still cute. I really like it. All kinds of spring flowers. And that's the other one here. It can stand on its own. Turned out really cute too. I think I'll make another one so I have a set. And here it is hanging. Very cute. And here is the other one, and just sitting with one of those little book holder thingy-majigs. If you don't want to hang it, you can do it like that. And here it is hanging. Super cute. And then from the last one, this is how I have it displayed on my dining room table with a little candle. I'm not going to light the candle. That's just there for decoration purposes. I wouldn't use a real candle. And here it is hanging. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Appreciate you all being here. And until next time.